I am Lieutenant Adam Thompson. I am a weapon engineering officer in the Royal Navy, and I currently work for Captain Naval Recruiting as one of the specialist engineer recruiters. So we all attend Britannia Royal Naval College first as a naval officer. That's where you're trained from a civilian into a naval officer. It doesn't matter what specialization you are, you will go to Britannia Royal Naval College first. And during that, you learn how to manage and lead a team. You learn how to operate outside your comfort zone because it's tiring, the days are long, and it's designed to push you to your limits and find out what they are. The benefit of the Navy is it's not just an 8 to 4 or 9 to 5 job. You live with those people all the time, and that's not just when you're away at sea, when you're in training, and when you go away with work, because we do go away, even if we're office based, we go away for days at a time or a week at a time. Every day is a little bit different, and that's probably one of the best benefits about this job is I know that the next day is never going to be the same as the day was before. So you have to have a strong team around you, whether that's the newest guy on board or the longest term guy on board. So one of the best things about being part of the Royal Navy is the change in role every 2 years. I never have to be worried that I'm going to do the same thing for the next 40 years. I get a broad choice in where I go and what I do. You can go and work at joint headquarters in London. You can go and work with other services. You can go and work with NATO. You can work with allied partners. There are so many options out there, and never really get that bored. And travel is always a fantastic element of this job, that you get paid to go abroad. I ran a half marathon in Halifax last year in Canada, in the Canadian wilderness, which is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. So for anyone who's considering a career in the Royal Navy, my advice would be definitely have a look at it, because there is so much to do. Explore every option. We have a wide range of branches. Just in engineering, there's a broad difference between maintaining a submarine nuclear power plant and maintaining a Merlin helicopter. So even if you just want to stay in that subset of engineering, there is so much to do. Then once you've picked your subset, you then talk about if you want to focus into policy, if you want to focus into operations, if you want to focus into personnel, if you want to focus into in-service support or acquisition. There's a whole then other world of specialisms you can go into. So there's plenty of options. The opportunities in the Royal Navy are endless.
So being on a warship like this and actually be able to do your job hands-on it's a lot better than being stuck in a classroom. I think it's more rewarding to interact with the ship's company and really just become an integral part of the ship.
As a marine engineering apprentice in the Royal Navy, you have to be prepared for the unexpected. We can be working anywhere from the galley to the engine space to the ship's control centre. We check oil pressures, fix equipment and anything else that needs working on ship.
I chose to become a weapons engineer because I'd had experience at college doing electrical installation, and from looking online I found out this job was hands-on with electrical equipment.
So the aim of the ETS is to grow our future generation of marine engineers and weapon engineers on an advanced apprenticeship scheme, rather than going through the normal channels that we have to offer in the Royal Navy.
Being an apprentice on a warship is a lot better because you can be more hands-on with the technology you're working with. You can understand the systems that you're working with more, whereas you don't get to feel the same way when you're working in the classroom.
Since joining the Navy, I've achieved an MVQ level 2 in marine engineering, and I'm looking to achieve an MVQ level 3.
My role in the Royal Navy is an engineer technician, weapon engineer on board HM submarines. My role on board a HM submarine at sea would be a 6 hours on, 6 hours off shift pattern. I work as part of a forward staff routine, so there's myself, a weapons engineer and marine engineer work together. We would do various things like raising and lowering masts, changing over fresh waters, pumping domestics, filling other tanks, carrying out tank dips throughout the boat. And then my secondary role would be an internal comms maintainer, where I work with the forward and aft broadcast and the main broadcast, work on the general alarm system and the dial telephones throughout the boat. So in my time off, I like to spend my downtime playing FIFA, watching films, watching TV series. The best thing about being a submariner is the wage we get paid. It lets us to do things that I didn't really think I'd be able to do before I joined up. I've got to see places that I'm really happy I've seen, so Gibraltar and Crete, and then also the qualifications I can gain, so future down the line where I'm hoping to gain an engineering degree. As well as the engineering qualifications I've gained, I've also done a basic leadership qualification, where I've spent time on Dartmoor doing walks, and then we do leaderships where we're given briefs, tasks, presentations, which has helped develop my confidence and my ability to speak in front of groups of people. I feel that being a submariner differs from being on a surface ship because you feel more part of a team. We're all awarded dolphins and we all know that we've put the time in and the hard work in, and it's all really, a lot of it's self-assessed, so we teach each other and we pass down our experience for each other. Being a weapons engineer submariner is a really good job because it's given me a wide knowledge across engineering systems, given me the ability to work with all these systems confidently, and it's just exciting.
So I've been in the Navy now for about 4 years, just over 4 years, and my current role is leading engineering technician submariner, weapons engineer on the UK's nuclear deterrent submarines. So the typical working day as a submariner is never the same, really. There isn't such a thing as a typical working day. But when the boat's alongside on base, the working day starts at 8 o'clock, usually finishes around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And there'll be maintenance to do on the equipment that I maintain, routine sort of updates. It's a software-based system that I look after. However, I also look after the hardware as well. So really just whatever's happening with my equipment, I'm there to sort of deal with it. There's always like a set amount of people on board overnight. It's called the duty watch, and if you're duty and part of the duty watch for that 24-hour period, then there'll be various things happening throughout the day. There'll be training exercises, there'll be briefs that you need to attend. My job specifically alongside as part of the duty watch is duty to a senior rate. So if there is any kind of incident on board, then I will close up as part of the tech cell, and we will take reports in of what's been happening, any electrical isolations that have been made, hatches that have been shut, and any sort of damage control information will generally come into the tech cell first in an instant. And we practice that, so we have exercises where we practice that when we're alongside. At sea, the working day is a little bit different. My department specifically, or certain other departments in the forward part of the boat, will work a 6 hours on, 6 hours off system. During our 6 hours on, we're on watch and effectively available for any issues that arise with my equipment. And also the UGAS scheme, the undergraduate apprenticeship scheme, which is the scheme that I joined the Navy with. I was lucky enough to be selected for that. Basically, that entails an 8.5-year contract, of which the first sort of couple of years you're sort of classroom based, and then you'll generally join a submarine, get your submarine qualifications, qualify as a submariner, and then you join as a leading hand, which is one rank above what you would normally join the Navy as. The scheme itself is fast tracked to PO, so you're guaranteed promotion to petty officer, and I'm just about to go on my petty officer's career course, so that's just over 4 years. By the time I finish petty officer's course, I will have obtained a foundation degree, and then they'll send me to university for a year down in Portsmouth. Every day is different, really. There's no 2 days the same, and the camaraderie that you, especially in my department, it is great. You know, we're always having a laugh, so it's makes the day go by.
I started out in Teesside, but where I went next is classified. I've trained on kit that doesn't officially exist, completed missions that never happened, and been places you won't find on a map. Because I went where I didn't go, spent days doing what I didn't do, and nights with people I was never with. I've come a long way for someone who's never officially been anywhere. I was born in Teesside, but that's about as much as I can tell you.
Being a Wildcat engineering technician is intense, exciting, challenging, and satisfying. Being an F-35 technician is all the above, just a little faster. So through basic training, the fundamentals that I learned when becoming an aircraft engineer was very avionics, electrical, but also the mechanical kind of side of how a helicopter works or a jet, and the safety features. So you can look at a car or look at a plane in the sky and almost go into schematics of how it's made and how it's working right now, and how the engine's moving around to create the propulsion, and it's just, you see the world in a different way. So when I was in training at RSA Overton, I worked on the Wildcat helicopter, which took me to a new part of the UK that I'd never been. But now I get to progress on to the F-35, which is based at RAF Marham. With the Navy, I have had the opportunity to go to Sydney, Australia. Yeah, I can't believe it either. The other side of the world to do a sport. Drone racing, it's brand new, and I got invited out there to join the army to compete against the Australian military in a new innovative sport, and it was utterly amazing, and you wouldn't get that in another job. Having ADHD has been a big obstacle for me throughout my career. Having to be in the right place, in the right time, in the right dress was something I really struggled with. But now, over time, with the support of the Royal Navy, I can be in the right places at the right time, and that's allowed me to go and do this sport, drone racing, and you have to be there, you have to wake up early to get to the drone race, which could be anywhere in the UK, and compete. And then you've got to make sure that you're there on the racing line, ready to go when it's your round. Nowhere in the world can you pay under 300 quid, go fly like a bird, go wherever you want within reason and safety, and just fly. And building a drone that you've taken all the components together and soldered them and programmed it, and then it flies, is just rewarding in its own. My one piece of advice for anyone who wants to join the Navy as an aircraft engineering technician is to go and do it. Join the Navy, go around the world and learn all about aircraft.
Hi, my name's Lee Williams. I'm a Petty Officer Engineer in the Royal Navy, Marine Engineer. Being an engineering technician at Petty Officer level, that means that I'm a management role. On ships, I would be a generation section head, which will provide generation to the ship, propulsion. I've joined the Royal Navy in 2002. I've had many ships since then and shore establishments. I started off on landing platform dock, HMS Albion, where I progressed through my training, apprenticeship, if you like, going through all different routes, from mechanical, electrical, working all different sections to gain experience within the Royal Navy. I'm currently in Gibraltar, where we have 5 RIB is rigid hulled inflatable boats. We have 5 of them here and 2 Archer class P2000s, where we carry out Optiminium patrol and Sundance. So the purpose of being out here is to fly the flag for the Royal Navy. So I joined the Royal Navy with no qualifications at all, mainly because I passed, when I was 15 in school, I passed the entry tests. So through lack of judgment, really, I didn't think I needed to do any qualifications in school. I didn't pay too much attention to my GCSEs, etc. Since joining the Navy, I realised that was a big mistake, and through various online courses and doing courses through work itself, since then I've reset all my GCSEs within the Navy. So I've got lots of experiences, to be honest, which I'm really happy with. They range from engineering stuff itself, fixing certain high-profile defects. I would definitely advise people to join the Royal Navy for many things. One thing which I've always found to be beneficial to myself is I think that people get itchy feet within jobs these days. After 3-4 years, people find that they're fed up of doing the same thing day in, day out, working for the same people. And that's a little bit different in the Navy. However, it's sort of the same. So when you're on a ship working with the same people, the same equipment, you, after 3-4 years, once you find that you know everything there is to know about that ship, it's time to move on, whether that be through a promotion, if you're lucky enough, or whether it just be onto a different class of ship. And then you're back to square one, learning again, meeting new people, going to different places. So I think that keeps you nice and fresh.
I wasn't really bothered at school. I left at 16 and then I went to work as an estate agent. But I love working with my hands, so I always wanted more. I joined the Royal Navy as a weapon engineer. I swapped staring out the window for getting stuck in. The streets of Enfield for seeing the world. The best thing about the Navy is the kit we get to work on. I always wanted to work with big guns, and now I get to do it for a living. Then there's my mates and the runs ashore. We've always got a story to tell. And I've got loads of engineering qualifications I'll be able to take with me if I leave. When something difficult used to come up, I used to think, I can't be bothered. But I can be bothered now. I just know I'm going to be able to do it. I was born in London, but I was made in the Royal Navy.
The main benefit I feel of the apprenticeship is the trust that you have within the system.
Being paid to learn is everybody's dream, really.
There's so much stuff you can actually do in the Navy.
One day you may be out on boats,
jumping out of helicopters, use various weapon systems.
Work on radars. I would never have imagined me at 19 doing that.
It's a lot of hands-on stuff, getting your hands dirty, covered in grease.
By the end of this course, we're guaranteed a job.
Living on base, you see people every day, so there is that sense of community within the Navy.
You can finish work and just head straight down to the beach.
There's plenty of opportunities to play sport, which was a big reason for joining as well.
I'm due to go on ship soon, so I'm looking forward to that, learning the fine dining side of stuff.
I think the Royal Navy's for everybody.
I found it quite appealing to be part of something so big.
Travel the world, meet new people, be part of something special.
If you want it, it's easy enough to get, you just have to work for it.
I'm Lieutenant Timmy. I am a Royal Navy Marine Engineering Officer, currently based at HMS Sultan. I did join the Navy through the apprenticeship scheme, and it was a scheme which had been running for a significant amount of time. Prior to joining the Navy, I was actually working in a nuclear company in France. But at this point in my career, I really wanted to get into a more operational environment and less purely academic. Moving through the ranks to where I am today, there has been a lot of support from the service, and that has always put me in a place where I see room to grow and to expand on my knowledge. I wanted to do a university short course which lasted 2 weeks at University of Bradford, and this was on a topic that had not much to do with my personal role in the service, but I just was curious because it was fully supported and funded by the Navy, and during that course I did meet other members from the tri-services and some civil servants with whom we could share our thoughts and experiences and our interests. It is okay to not know exactly what one wants to do, but it is important to develop or to build on any interest, because I believe one will be surprised to see how many people graduate from university not knowing exactly what sector of different industries they want to go to. When I joined the Navy, I quickly realized that the Navy, or the armed forces as a whole, is a bubble within a bubble. So it is a sub-segment of society, and that is to say that because we do live in close quarters, there is the natural tendency to create new networks and bonds, and which tend to last for a lifetime. You build on these relationships, and they come in quite handy when you're facing challenging times in a difficult operational environment where you can actually lean on each other. It's all right to fail, but it's how you bounce. It's how you bounce off failure. And I'm a strong believer of experiencing failure, or some form of failure, early in life, because that means you have a better understanding of some of the bigger challenges in the future.
You don't have to be Superman to join, just as long as you're active and you're fit, and everything develops throughout training, so before you know it, you're doing things that you never thought you'd be capable of.
For me, the joining process was really easy. There was online facilities for me to look at, but I preferred to speak to people face to face. So I went into my local careers office, spoke to them there, told them my situation, see how they could help me. They were really helpful. They gave me all the stages of the application. I took each stage on one by one, put a lot of effort into each one until the point I found myself here.
A good bit of advice is to buy yourself a good pair of running shoes. I wasn't the fittest kid on the block, so for me, like, just getting out, running, doing press-ups and pull-ups was like the main thing for me. And I prepared myself mentally for it as well.
At first, I was not mentally and physically able to do what was expected of me. But as you progress, you get better and better at what you're doing.
Experience before you come in is not really that relevant because we want to teach you the way that we want you to learn and how the skills that we want you to have. So we take it as if you know nothing and then build you up from there and obviously teach you from there. It's what you make of it as well. If you've got that determination to do what you want to do and you've got a bit of a passion for it, then you're going to succeed and you're going to go on and do whatever it is you wanted to do.
If you're willing to put the effort in, prove yourself, work hard, you are guaranteed a career.